6 immortal elders by name.
What?
Shazam!
In the build-up to the film Black Adam, Dwayne Johnson indicated that the power structure of the DCEU would be shifting. He was pointing to the eponymous character's incredible degree of power and vast array of talents, both of which have the potential to compete with DC's reigning superhero, Superman. Black Adam and Superman are similar in that they both have the ability to fly and possess superhuman strength and invulnerability. The Man of Steel protects the defenseless, but Adam is interested in gaining more power and extracting revenge for his people. The two giants have squared off against one another on several occasions in the comics, which has served as a rich source of ideas for Black Adam's exploits on the big screen. So keep on watching to see the many times Black Adam faced up against Superman in DC Comics. Black and Blue. As a result of a misunderstanding with the villain Dr. Psycho, Superman found himself in a confrontation with Black Adam in Metropolis. The villain, who was of little height, was going from place to place in the Metropolis, hypnotizing people and encouraging them to engage in evil deeds. Black Adam was sent by Lex Luthor in an effort to thwart Dr. Psycho's plans to start a titanic fight. The fact that the villain was incapacitated by Black Adam before Superman arrived to stop him contributed to the confusion that ensued. As a result of Superman's mistaken belief that Black Adam was assisting Dr. Psycho, a victorious fight broke out. Even though it wasn't a malevolent conflict, and they quickly found out that they were both attempting to stop the same bad guy, it was a demonstration of the huge catastrophic potential of their brawls. Superman versus Captain Marvel, when Earths collide. Black Adam assisted the Martian sorcerer Karmung in his plot to pit the world's mightiest mortal against the Man of Steel in combat. This early matchup helped establish the peculiar dynamics that exist between the three godlike creatures, Shazam, Superman, and Black Adam, all of whom are considered to be some of the most powerful characters in the DC universe. Black Adam assaulted Superman while posing as Shazam in an effort to drag both of them into a battle against each other. However, Supergirl was able to foil his scheme in the nick of time. She transformed Black Adam into Death Adam with the use of a magic staff, which gave her the opportunity to put an end to the struggle between Superman and Shazam. Chapter 7. The video game Deceased: Hope at Planet's End investigated what would happen if a world filled with superhumans was invaded by the living dead. As the guardian of Kahndaq, Black Adam used lethal force against his people who were afflicted with the anti-life virus in order to completely destroy any trace of the virus that may have been present inside his boundaries. Unfortunately, Black Adam was infected with the anti-life virus, and the illness swiftly spread over his whole country. Black Adam, an infected anti-hero, fought against Cyborg, Martian Manhunter, and Superman, but Black Adam eventually stopped his battle with the Justice League in order to unite his army of infected soldiers. However, this was just a momentary respite for the heroes, since Adam's thirst was not satiated in any way by their efforts. Superman and Shazam, Black Adam. In this issue, Black Adam from Earth S was seen traveling to Earth. Want to go after the equivalent of Billy Batson in that universe. After that, Black Adam made his ambition to subjugate the whole world known. During one of the initial meetings between the three heroes, Superman and Shazam worked together to stand up to the oppressive powerhouse. Another spectacular clash between the three superheroes took place in the form of a strong battle that was loaded with hard blows and tremendous abilities. These early comics might serve as the basis for a matchup in the DCEU that would do credit to the tremendous conflicts while also making use of actors like Dwayne Johnson, Henry Cavill, and Zachary Levi in their live-action roles. Chapter 14. John Kent was one of the most effective incarnations of Superboy, so when the diseased Black Adam renewed his assault on DC's Hope at World's End, he made him his primary target. Together with Wonder Woman, Superman rushed to his son's aid while he was in trouble. The conflict led them all the way across the United States' Gotham City, where they launched their decisive assault on the infected anti-hero and the men under his command. Black Adam was caught in Wonder Woman's lasso of truth, which ultimately led to his demise. She coerced him into uttering his enchanted phrase so that he may return to his human form as Death Adam. To ensure that the triumph would stand, Superman burned Adam's vocal cords with his heat vision, which stopped him from reverting back into Black Adam. Prisoners. During the Forever Evil arc in the New 52 comic series, the crime syndicate from Earth 3 carried out a savage assault on the DC world. They were able to contain the majority of Justice League inside Firestorm's body, but they had to leave the villains to defend themselves. Because Black Adam's goal was to eliminate everyone who plotted to oppress others, he was the most qualified person to challenge the crime syndicate. Black Adam engaged in combat with one of the most powerful versions of Superman, his antagonistic counterpart on Earth 3, known as Ultraman. During the fight, he unleashed a few devastating bullets and even countered with a mystical lightning blast, but Ultraman was only marginally affected by these attacks. The battle was immediately put to a stop as a result of his Black Adam's jaw, which prevented him from using words to attack him in the future. Chapter 29. Injustice: Gods Among Us, a video game developed by NetherRealm, took fans to a more sinister version of the DC universe. The years leading up to and after the events of the game were covered in a comic book series that addressed the climactic rift between Superman and Batman. Fans are eager for the inclusion of Black Adam in Injustice 3, since the villain battled with Superman and his totalitarian regime in the past. After the Flash betrayed him, Superman immediately set about reassuring his troops of their commitment to him. Black Adam's motivation for attacking Superman was his desire to shield Kahndaq, the nation in which he was born and raised, from the conflict. Following a fierce conflict, Superman made it quite apparent that Kahndaq would be his adversary if they did not become his friend. Black Adam took a stand and reiterated his commitment to the cause of rescuing his people. Touchdown! Before the Crisis on Infinite Earths, a heroic alternative version of Clark Kent, who would later be known as Superboy Prime, emerged in the DCU. During the massive event, known as DC's Infinite Crisis, he made a comeback with Alexander Luthor and other characters from other dimensions. After the Crisis catastrophe had wiped out of every other reality, they were working hard to reconstruct the multiverse. In order to boost his abilities, Superboy Prime strengthened himself by donning a unique suit of armor made from the body of the Anti-Monitor. Black Adam met Superboy Prime head-on, and he did so with the expectation that his magical talents would give him the upper hand. Superboy Prime discovered that Black Adam's strikes were only irritating, and he immediately put a stop to the combat. When Superboy Prime appeared again many years later, Black Adam and the Shazam family joined forces was not enough to vanquish him. Action Comics number 831. There is just one actual example of Black Adam and Superman fighting in a fair battle throughout the canon of DC Comics' lengthy history of publishing both characters, and that takes place on the one and only occasion when they both originate from the same Earth. It's true that these people know one another from the past, and may have even worked together at one point. On the other hand, because of the complicated histories of several worlds and historical periods, the two behemoths have only seldom faced each other in a direct confrontation. Although there are ideas in the works to pit the godlike entities against each other on the big screen, you can anticipate DC to investigate such possibilities even further. In light of this, the Black Adam vs. Superman conflicts that take place in issue number 831 of Action Comics represents an important turning point in the series. This scene takes place in DC Comics' Villains United storyline, which follows Lex Luthor as he attempts to unite the many supervillains under his command into a single army. Black Adam was entrusted with locating Dr. Psycho, who was a vital component of Luthor's new squad, and Black Adam was given that responsibility. However, when the Kahndakian eventually located Dr. Psycho, Superman stood in his way, which led to the Titans engaging in one of their most significant conflicts. Unfortunately for Superman, Dr. Psycho is able to manipulate the situation and force him to release both of the villains so that he may escape the scenario. Injustice Gods Among Us, Year 5, number 29. The story of Injustice Gods Among Us starts out with Superman becoming disoriented and confused. As a result of the Joker's brainwashing, the Man of Steel is responsible for the death of his wife, Lois Lane, as well as their unborn child. Superman loses his mind and becomes a tyrant over the whole globe, imposing his will on everyone and demanding peace by any means necessary. The plot continues 5 years later in the accompanying video game. On the other hand, the years that were lost have been made up for owing a digital comic series with the same name. Unfortunately, by year 5 of the Injustice timeline, Superman is starting to lose control of his all-powerful rule. This is due to the fact that a large number of the former superheroes begin to disagree with his authoritarian ways. The Man of Steel travels the globe to meet with the heads of state of the few remaining independent countries in an effort to establish firmer control over his domain. Kahndaq, which was protected by Black Adam for a very long period, is one of the few countries that has managed to maintain its independence. Adam is one of the few metahumans capable of holding his own against Superman, as he is keen to tell his would-be tyrant. This is something that Adam is quick to remind him of. Black Adam is able to elicit a response from the Kryptonian by putting up a valiant effort in their battle. However, when Kahndaq's assistance comes from Superman, Kahndaq's commander makes a temporary oath of devotion to Superman. Forever Evil, number 3. The Injustice League, a group of supervillains led by Lex Luthor, is the only group of metahumans that has a chance of defeating the very deadly crime syndicate. Ultraman is a version of Superman who exists in a different reality than our own. Unfortunately for Lex and his team, Ultraman is leading the otherworldly evil supergroup that they are up against. When it comes to judging fights between Black Adam and the enormous blue behemoth, Ultraman is the one who checks off all the necessary boxes. This also happens to be one of the most exciting battles amongst the champions who are godlike. Their battle, which began in issue number 24 of Justice League, will continue throughout the main event miniseries Forever Evil, in which Black Adam will attempt to vanquish his adversary via the use of mystical bolts of lightning. Ultraman has the upper hand in one of the bloodiest demonstrations included on this list by smashing Adam's jaw and coming dangerously close to snuffing out his life. And that's it! Click the like button if you'd like to see more videos just like the one you're watching now. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'll be waiting for you in the next video.